Let me tell you something nobody at the dinner table has the guts to say. That friend of yours, the one who's known you since 7th grade, the one who held your hair back when you drank too much at Kyle's party in 2009, the one who says, "I'm so proud of you," with a smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes, that friend, they don't want you to make it. Not really. Not all the way. They want you to do well enough, comfortable enough, successful enough that you're not a charity case, not an embarrassment at brunch, but not so successful that your light makes their shadow unbearable. They want you right there, right next to them, in the same tax bracket, the same quiet disappointments, the same "I'll start Monday" ambitions that never survive Tuesday. I'm not saying they're evil, I'm saying they're human, and human is plenty dangerous enough. I spent years in restaurant kitchens before anyone knew my name, and I'll tell you what I noticed long before the cameras, long before the books, long before any of it. The people who celebrated your struggle will not always celebrate your arrival. There's a certain intimacy to shared failure, a warmth to it. You're all broke together. You're all hungover together. You're all talking about what you're gonna do while doing absolutely nothing together. And there's a beauty in that, I won't lie. Some of my best nights on earth were spent with people who had nothing, doing nothing, going nowhere. But the moment you stand up from that table, the moment you say, "I'm going to actually do the thing," you'll feel a shift in the room so subtle, so imperceptible that you'll think you imagined it. You didn't. Here's how it starts. It starts with jokes. "Ah, look at you, Mr. Big Shot. Don't forget us little people. Must be nice." Must be nice. 2 words, a dagger dressed as a compliment, because what they're really saying is, you don't deserve that, not more than me. We were the same, we were equal. What changed? What makes you so goddamn special? And the answer, the brutal, unforgivable answer, is that you moved. That's all. You moved, and they didn't. And movement in any direction that isn't theirs is a kind of betrayal. I had a friend once, a good one, or so I thought. We came up together, worked the same grimy line in a kitchen that smelled like old grease and broken dreams. We'd smoke after service, sit on milk crates out back, and talk about the restaurants we'd open, the books we'd write, the lives we'd live when we finally got out. I got out. He didn't. And I watched, slowly, then all at once, as every conversation became something acidic. Not anger exactly, something worse. Disappointment. Not in me, in himself. But he couldn't say that, couldn't face that. So instead it became, "You changed, man." 3 words, the eulogy of a friendship. Because I had changed. That was the whole point. That was the entire goddamn architecture of the dream, to not stay the same. But in his eyes, my change was an accusation. My growth was a mirror he didn't ask for, reflecting back every risk he never took, every morning he slept through, every tomorrow that never came. And here's the part that'll keep you up at night. He wasn't right to feel that way. Pain like that, it's legitimate. Watching someone leave the island you're both stranded on, watching them build a raft out of nothing but stubbornness and madness and sail toward the horizon while you're still collecting coconuts, that is a specific kind of agony. But understanding someone's pain doesn't mean you have to drown in it with them. Let me tell you the taxonomy, the field guide to the friends who will bury you with kindness. The anchor. This is the one who, every time you try to rise, reminds you of who you were. You're starting a business, they bring up the time you failed algebra. You're getting in shape, they order you a drink and say, "Come on, one won't kill you." They are not holding you close, they are holding you down. And they're doing it with a smile and a shared history that makes it almost impossible to call out. Because how do you accuse someone of sabotage when they're using nostalgia as the weapon? The scorekeeper. This one is keeping a ledger you didn't agree to. Every good thing that happens to you gets weighed against their own life. You got a promotion, they mention how their boss is terrible, and isn't it unfair, and the system is rigged, and the implication hangs in the air like cigarette smoke. You probably just got lucky. The scorekeeper needs the world to be a zero-sum game, because if your success isn't their loss, then they have to confront the possibility that they are simply not doing the work. The concerned friend. Oh, this one. This is the masterpiece of sabotage, because this one comes wrapped in love. Are you sure about this? I'm just worried about you. I don't want to see you get hurt. I just think you should be realistic.
I just think you should be realistic.
Realistic. The word people use when they want to kill your dreams but still be invited to your birthday party. The word that sounds like wisdom but tastes like surrender. Every great thing that was ever built was built by someone who was told to be realistic and chose, actively chose, not to be. The concerned friend doesn't want to protect you from failure. They want to protect themselves from your success. Because if you make it, if you actually, genuinely, undeniably make it, then their own inaction becomes a choice, and a choice can't hide behind circumstance. Before you go scorched earth on every phone number in your contacts, let me tell you the other side. Not everyone who doubts you is a saboteur. Some people are just scared. Scared for you, scared of losing you, scared that the person who comes back from the other side of ambition won't remember to sit on milk crates and talk about nothing. And sometimes they're right to worry, because success does change you, and not always for the better. I've seen it. I've been it. The person who gets so drunk on momentum that they forget the people who loved them when they were nobody. So this isn't about cutting everyone off. It's not about becoming some lone wolf quoting Nietzsche in a studio apartment with no furniture. It's about seeing clearly. It's about knowing the difference between someone who says, "Be careful," because they love you, and someone who says, "Be careful," because your courage is making them uncomfortable. Here's what I learned. In kitchens, in airports, in countries where I didn't speak the language and had to read people by something older than words. The people who truly love you, the real ones, they do something that is incredibly rare and almost unbearably generous. They let you leave. They let you become someone they don't recognize yet. They hold the discomfort of your transformation without making it about them. They say, "I don't understand what you're doing, but I believe in you." And they mean it, not as a performance, but as a promise. These people exist. They are not common. You will be able to count them on one hand, maybe less, and they are worth more than every crowd that ever cheered your name. But the others, the anchors, the scorekeepers, the concerned friends, you don't have to hate them. You just have to stop letting them navigate, because they will chart a course straight back to the harbor every time. They'll call it safety. They'll call it loyalty. They'll call it love. It is none of those things. It is gravity. And gravity doesn't care about your dreams. Gravity just wants you back on the ground, where you're manageable, where you're predictable, where you're the version of yourself that doesn't challenge anyone to look in the mirror. So here is the truth, the dark, impolite, say it at dinner and watch everyone go quiet truth. Your ascent is someone else's indictment. Your discipline is someone else's guilt. Your I did it is someone else's why didn't I? And rather than sit with that, rather than use your fire to light their own, most people will try to blow out your match. Not with malice, with something much harder to fight. Familiarity. They'll remind you of who you were. They'll make you comfortable. They'll pour you a drink and put on the old songs and make the cage feel so much like home that you forget it has bars. I'm not telling you to be cruel. I'm telling you to be awake. I'm telling you to protect the thing inside you that dared to want more, because the world is full of people who killed that impulse. And misery doesn't just love company. Misery recruits. You'll know who your real friends are, not by who shows up to the party after you've made it, but who was still there, still calling, still showing up, still saying your name with warmth during the ugly, uncertain, terrifying middle, when you were neither who you were nor who you were becoming, when you were just becoming. Those people, keep them close. Everyone else, wish them well and keep moving.